Hi everyone, welcome to Outdoor Bound TV. I'm Kurt Walbeck. You know, I think anywhere you look in the upper Midwest, there are some pretty deep-rooted traditions centered around deer hunting. That time in the fall when family and friends gather around to spend time at deer camp and time in the woods. Well, the Erickson family of northern Wisconsin is no different. They look forward to the fall hunting season every year. Now, don't get me wrong, they love to hunt deer, but their real passion is hunting black bear.
Nick Erickson from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. I am a safety director for a local concrete company. I have a wife and a young son. Enjoy fishing, hunting, anything outdoors. I grew up in northern Wisconsin, in Prentice, Wisconsin, small town. Was involved in all the extracurricular activities, doing all the sports, all the hunting, all the fishing, that kind of stuff that northern Wisconsin offers us. I grew up around bear hunting in particular. My dad always ran bait since I was a little kid, so I was always helping him bait, check trail cameras, that kind of stuff. So that was kind of the start of my bear hunting experience. And then as I grew older, I just got more dedicated to doing it on my own, and I was very fortunate that my dad shot a couple really nice bear, and that kind of got me even more hooked on it and wanting to shoot my own big bear. And primarily I'm an archer, so I would rather shoot one with a bow than with a gun, and that's part of the challenge and kind of an exciting thing for me to do. Price County, Wisconsin is part of the northern Wisconsin, your classic northern Wisconsin. It's big swamp area, it's big timber, the towns are very small and isolated. It makes for great bear hunting habitat. It's not your typical southern Wisconsin big deer property, big oak, hardwood, that kind of stuff. It's a lot of your lower land, maple groves, a lot of pines and that kind of stuff. As we were sitting there, we heard a twig snap behind us, and I looked over my right shoulder and I could see that there was a pretty good bear coming in. And before it actually got into a clearing where we could see, we saw two smaller bears start coming in too, and that's when we knew it was a sow and cubs. For anyone that hasn't seen a bear cub or bear cubs in person, it's quite a sight. It's like kids on a jungle gym. They're screaming at each other, they're hitting each other, they're chasing each other around. And they're small. These were just yearling cubs. So they were maybe 30, 40 pounds, really small little guys. They're so much fun to watch just because it's, you never know what they're gonna do. And as long as they stay on the ground and don't come up in the tree with you, it's really a pleasure to see from a tree stand. So we sat there for about an hour watching the two go at it and the show that they were putting on. And then the sow eventually came in. One of the things you're looking for when you're judging a bear is, and really easy indicator, is if it has cubs. So you don't want to shoot a sow with cubs. The cubs are going to stay with the sow for at least a full year. So you can have either that year's spring cubs with them, or you could have a bear that's, 70, 80, 90 pounds with that sow still. So you don't want to shoot that sow. You want to leave her with her cubs, let them mature. When you're judging a boar, the biggest thing you're looking for is head size. It's the easiest indicator, and the size of the ears. Usually small ears means big head, and usually means a bigger bear.
That was pretty neat. We just had 2 cubs come in, and then we had the sow circle us for probably 10 minutes trying to get our win, and she was snapping her jaw. And she finally made her way around, and actually when I first saw her, it almost looked like a young boar. She had a really big head on her. But as soon as she didn't chase the cubs off, we knew it was obviously the sow for those 2 cubs. But pretty neat. They hung up for probably 45 minutes and ate, so still enough light for a big one to make it in. So another half hour here, see how it goes.
That sow and cubs did a number on the bait and didn't leave much left, so no boar showed up that night, and that was the end of our day 2 hunt. So this might seem like a really easy hunt. You put bait out in the woods, the bear comes, you come and shoot it. Well, it's not necessarily the case. There's a lot of hurdles that go into this. So one of them is I don't live where I'm hunting. I drew a tag for Unit A, which is in northern Wisconsin. I live in western Wisconsin. So there was 2 hours of drive time between getting up to where I was hunting and where I live. 6 months prior to my tag, I had my first kid. So I was on a crazy sleep schedule. So between a sleep schedule of a 6-month-old, my work schedule, and then the timing of the season, there's a lot stacked against you. And what I mean in the time of the season, in Wisconsin, in mid-September, we have acorns that start dropping, which will pull bear away from bait. We have corn that's starting to get really ripe, and the bear are really interested in that. Plus we have hazelnuts, which grow on every single tree in northern Wisconsin. And when they start dropping and getting ripe, that's what the bear want to eat too. So timing is super critical. And then in this year, we were the first, bait sitters went first. So we had the first week to ourselves, and then on the following Wednesday, hound hunters come in. So that can also shuffle around a lot of your bear too. So getting around all of those hurdles that were in the way was going to be really critical to making this a successful hunt.
It's night number 3 of northern Wisconsin bear hunting. We're up here in Zone A, Price County. The first night we got washed out. We sat in some miserable weather, raining all night, 40 degrees. The target bear we're after came in just after it quit raining, so he waited out that rain and kind of eluded us that night. Night 2, we went to a different set. We had a better wind for that set, and we had a sow and 2 cubs come in and kind of put on a show for us. So that was neat to see, but we're back in our big bear set now. We've got a front moving in around 10 o'clock tonight, so we're hoping that gets him on his feet early, and we've got a shot at him. Let's see what happens.
So night 3 brought a little bit better weather and brought us the wind that we needed to hunt our primary set. So we climbed up in the tree, got in there plenty early, and we didn't have to wait very long, and we started having bear action. So day 3 came to a close. We had some awesome encounter with some bear, but we left with kind of a feeling of uncertainty whether we had screwed up or not. So we pulled the SD card, went back to the house and reviewed it, and the more pictures we looked at, the more we kind of had a sense that we had a shooter bear in front of us that we should have taken a crack at. Didn't sleep a whole lot after night 3, just thinking about the potential missed opportunity, and I guess just hoping that the weather didn't change on me and the pattern of the bear didn't change before I was able to get back out in the tree.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Mission Crossbows and HHA Sports.
My dad living up in the area, it's really easy for him to go and run baits, so he just starts usually towards the end of summer, gets them going. We have a lot of bear in the area, so we don't have to start right away in spring like some areas do. To start the year, we usually run about 4 baits or so, and then get an inventory of the bear that we have coming and see if we need to change things. Maybe it's changing a location, or it's adding a stump or taking away one depending on what's going on. This year in particular, we had one tag to use, so we didn't have to run a lot of different bait sites. So we just stuck to our traditional bait sites that the bear were used to coming to every single year, and that just helps basically start their routine at coming into those baits. Our land covers a couple of square miles, but we run baits within probably a mile of each other, just because it's far enough away that you're keeping the same bear from bouncing between baits, so it helps get more of a variety of bear basically on those bait locations. And it also keeps it close enough that it's really easy to run those baits every night, which is critical in this whole thing, is being consistent in your baiting routine. That way the bear know when it's arriving, when they're supposed to show up, that kind of thing. What we've found is bears are extremely patternable in the early season, and what I mean by that is when it gets to be the fall season, their sole focus is finding food and finding easy food. So if you can be consistent in your baiting routines, it helps the bear to pattern what times they arrive, and in turn, when you're in the stand, hopefully they're showing up when you are there as well. For example, my dad runs a bus route for the school. And so as soon as he gets back from his bus route, the first thing he does is he goes out and baits. So that means at 4 o'clock every night, that bait is hitting the stump. And like clockwork, the bear hopefully will show up between 4:30 and 5 o'clock that night then.
It's sit number 4 here. It's Saturday night. We had a pretty active sit last night. We had what we believe is 5 different bear in here, and 2 of them were probably target bear. The one was kind of on the cusp of if we were going to shoot it or not. We decided to leave it last night, but looking back at the trail camera pictures of it and the video of it, I think tonight we would take that bear. So we're going to hang in here. They got moving at about 6:30 last night. We just had a bunch of rain come through here that just burned off about a half hour ago, so we're hoping they're back on their feet and coming in to get a meal. We'll be ready for them.
So for a big creature, they're actually surprisingly quiet. So they can get through the woods without making much noise at all. And we had pretty damp conditions, doesn't really allow you to hear leaves cracking or anything like that. So we had several bear that slipped in on us, and they were within 20 yards before we ever even knew they were there. So as we made up our minds on, this is going to be a shooter bear, we started going through through the motions on making sure that this was going to be successful from this point forward. And what I mean by that is right away start controlling your breathing, because the second you let it creep into your mind that you're going to shoot this thing, your heart starts pumping, your adrenaline starts going, you start shaking. So starting the breathing routine, got everything ready with my bow, and then just waited for that right opportunity to make the shot.
Just got it done. That bear came in and took a peek at the bait, looked right up at us up the shooting lane, and spooked. Made a circle downwind and came right underneath the stand and headed back in. I haven't heard it crash, but the shot looked good. Just gonna give it a couple minutes here. We got rain coming tonight, so we're gonna try to get on that bear right away. That looked pretty nice bear though. I think it's the same one we passed up last night.
After the shot took place and we kind of settled down for a second, I called my dad, told him we had shot, go ahead and come in and pick us up. So it took him just a couple minutes to run from the house to get us out of the tree stand. We hopped on the four-wheeler and peeled out of there to go back and look in more detail to make sure that the shot was where I believed it was. It's perfect. I don't know what more you could ask for. All right, so we're about an hour after we shot. We ran home quick and reviewed the footage, and the shot looks perfect. So we're gonna try to get on him here. We've got blood right away on the spot where he shot, but we haven't taken him into the woods yet at all here. So hopefully we've got a dead bear here in a short while. And once we found first blood, we started kind of scanning the area, and the bear didn't go 60 yards probably.
Got it.
All right, well, here she is. Thought for sure when we shot it was a boar, but flipped her over and it was actually a sow. So really, really big animal, big chested, but short legs, and really nice sow. Very, very nice sow. She only ran probably 45 yards maybe, but she didn't bleed very much. She made us work for it for sure. A lot of guys have their deer camp up in northern Wisconsin. For the Ericksons, it feels more like bear camp is what home is. Whether it's my cousins, aunts, and uncles that are shooting bear, or it's friends that we help fill their tag. It's just, it's definitely a tradition in our family and something that we enjoy doing every year. For me to come back home and be able to have a successful hunt was awesome. It was just the best feeling in the world. And honestly, for me, it's probably the last bear I'll shoot in a couple years, because the next tag that I get for that unit will probably be my son that actually gets to fill that tag, because he'll be 10 years old at that point. So yeah, definitely a special animal, and something that I'll always remember.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Rapala and Mountain Dew.
Hey Nick, congratulations on a great black bear there in Wisconsin. After waiting 9 years for a tag, it was great to see your plan all come together. Now, have you missed an episode of Outdoor Bound TV? Well, don't worry about it. All you have to do is log on to YouTube. Type in Outdoor Bound TV. That will take you to the Outdoor Bound TV channel, and all of the episodes for the last 16 seasons are all right there, and you can watch them all commercial free. And we hope that you'll join us again here next week, when we'll bring you more great hunting and fishing action from around the US, around Canada, and around the world, right here on Outdoor Bound TV.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Matthews Archery and Vortex Optics.
I don't really know where you want me to go with that. I don't even want to see it.
Bear with us. Bear with us. What is that?
Well, we'll finish that strong.
Oh, that's so easy. Done that a time or two, huh?
I didn't know what to say.
Total blank, total blank. That sounds terrible. Well, thanks for reminding me of the details now. No help. You guys suck.